This is what I'm training you to be like. The four horsemen of the apocalypse. I didn't know I had this in common with the founder of Amazon, but he's in the regret minimization business. Warren Buffett and Bill Gates simultaneously said one word: focus.
Want to soar? Get a mentor. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Dan Peña, and some of his best life-changing advice. Mentor me, Dan. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Minimize your regrets.
I didn't know I had this in common with the founder of Amazon, but he's in the regret minimization business. He has modeled his lifestyle, what will I regret when I'm 80? Now that he's 50-something, he says now it's going to be 90, same as me. But I've had 80 for a long, long time. And there's still some things. I have 3 regrets. 1, I'm a combat-trained Army officer that never saw combat. 2, the day before my mother died here at the castle, I'm screaming at her, "God damn it, don't be a bitch, you're not sick, you're not going to die." Next morning, she's dead. Can't go back on that, can you? And the 3rd is I didn't set my goals high enough. Nothing about missing my son or my daughter's Sweet 16 or missing a soccer or a baseball game. None of that shit that you have been led to believe wrongfully are important. I am a world-class eulogy giver. And every single person I've buried, I normally go to see them, normally they ask me before they die. I go and I say, well, what do you want me to say? And they always say, oh, I'm sorry for it. I didn't take this risk. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Not that I missed my son's wedding. Not that I missed my 3rd grandchild's birth. All that sloppy, soppy shit. It's the risk they didn't take.
Rule number 2, don't care what others think.
This is what I'm training you to be like. The four horsemen of the apocalypse. Warriors, not whiners, not warriors. Do you think Donald Trump's a whiner? Do you think he worries and gives a f*** what you think of him? Do you think Elon Musk gives a f*** what you think of him? Do you think the late Steve Jobs gave a f*** what you thought of him? Do you think Bill Gates gives a f***? And I can go on and on and on. The only one that gives a f*** is you. And you. And you and the morons on YouTube. The rumor is that I'm following in the footsteps of 2 of my mentors. And for those of you that aren't bright enough to know that that's Lenin and Stalin and me, there's some truth to that. Because I believe in the old Russian way. I'm not interested in your opinions. That's the last thing I need is your opinion. Because if your opinion was so good, you wouldn't be here. And if you look on my whole wall of influencers, they're both on there amongst some other people like the devil and a few others, Hitler.
Rule number 3, surround yourself with great people.
But does that look like your group? No, it doesn't look like your group. I mean, in no way, shape, manner, or form. You know, maybe if we had a bunch of bunny rabbits running there, it's unbelievable. But again, you are who you hang around with, you know. And as Oprah Winfrey says, and which I talk about a lot, is that you want people with a like mind and that are better than you, smarter than you, more intelligent than you to get on your bus. And don't be so concerned about what you're going to do with those people, but you want to, you know, the joint brain is, you know, there's nothing the joint brain, collective brain or brains can't overcome. And I give the example of the atomic bomb, the Manhattan Project, and they were put together and they were told, we need to develop a weapon of mass destruction, which they didn't call it that back in those days, in the middle 40s, to end the war in the Pacific. And they did. They didn't know if it was implode or explode, but they did. But if your team doesn't look like that, then you should, I won't say you should give serious thought, you should just change.
Rule number 4, wanted bad enough.
There's a hip-hop motivational guy, a black guy. Yeah. And he says, if you don't want to be successful as much as you want breath in your lungs, none of you qualify in this room. Hardly anybody that comes to the seminar qualifies. When I was doing this and when I invented QLA, and didn't know it was QLA at the time, only knew it was QLA when I look back, and I put it together, the model, if you will, or the formula, I wanted it more than air. I sacrificed my God, my country, my family, my children, my parents, my friends. And guess what? It happened.
Also, if you want to build confidence like Dan and other entrepreneurs, check out my 254 Confidence series. It's free. The link is in the description below.
But no one does know initially, up front. You have to try. You have to swing at the plate.
Rule number 5, focus.
Warren Buffett and Bill Gates simultaneously said one word: focus. That's it. Focus. And in the many years that I was 100% focused, and I created a lot of wealth for myself, I only thought about one thing, and that was it. And I'm not saying that it's easy, because if it were easy, there'd be like a QLA shop on every corner like Starbucks. My market is 700,000 people out of 7 billion. If you want to be me. 700,000 out of 7 billion. I don't know what fraction that is, but it's not a very big one. That's it. There's 700,000 people on the planet that can commit to the focus, the laser beam focus of the Gates, Trumps, Ellisons, etc. If you want to create generational wealth is wealth that you make in 20 to 25 years, because depending on where you Google it, a generation is either 20 to 25 years. We do that, and I've taught, and I did it myself, how to do it in 4 to 7 years. And and virtually throwing everything that you've learned or read out the window. But it's focus, and not that many people can stay focused. In fact, that's an understatement, a gross understatement. Hardly anybody can stay focused.
Rule number 6, be tough as nails.
Mr. Carnegie was a hard bastard. Vanderbilt was a hard bastard. Henry Ford I was a hard bastard. Rockefeller was a hard bastard. Steve Jobs was a ruthless hard bastard. As Apple CEO Cook regularly begins sending emails at 4:30 in the morning on Sunday, he's a hard bastard. Why are all these guys that changed the world got one thing in common? They're tough as nails, ruthless, take no prisoners. And then we got you. A stiff drink and a good kill most people in this room. I'm ashamed to say. In fact, forget the stiff drink, just a good My proceeds from PayPal acquisition were 180 million, blah, 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 blah. Then I had to borrow money for rent. These guys, myself included, are all in. If they believe in what they're doing, they put all their money at risk, which I have several times, not in recent years. SpaceX worker reveals a brutal company motto helped him survive all-nighters working for Elon Musk. Notorious workaholic Elon Musk is so tied to his office that he's been known to sleep on the floor. I slept on the floor. Ford slept on the floor. Jobs slept on the floor. Gates slept on the floor. Success leaves clues, you weenies. I still work 50, 60 hours a week, and I haven't had to work in 35 years.
Rule number 7, don't be an expert.
At least 2 or 3 of you have asked me either privately, on one-on-one, or during the breaks, you know, I was thinking about going into such and such, but I don't really know anything about such and such. How can I do it? Remember, I knew not enough about the oil and gas business to fill the top of that pen. I knew less than. And by anybody's imagination or statistics or benchmarks, I was super successful. And as I said earlier a couple of days ago, now, unfortunately, I know a lot about the industry. And I haven't made any money in it in a number of years. I wonder, I haven't. Because now I look at the deals. No, I mean, the ratio between gas and oil and this and that and supply and demand. So now I'm a fucking expert. I haven't made a dime in it in 10, 15 years. Because now I look at it the wrong way. I look at it, even though I don't do spreadsheets, I look at it in the spreadsheet manner. And you can always come up with a reason why not to do something. And by God, I've come up with a number of them over the year in oil and gas.
And rule number 8, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is turn your life into a process.
You want to take the easy way out because you think life is a journey. That is horseshit. Life's a journey if you're a moron and you're retarded. That's why, that's what you've done with the life up heretofore. It's been a journey. And how good is the journey? You tell me. Wouldn't you have rather, when the first time you went out with somebody that you thought you were in love with, thought is the operative word, wouldn't you have lied to have a template? Oh, let's follow this process because that is a journey. And all the mistakes you made and raising this little head for kids you got, instead of having this book. Life doesn't have to be a journey. It's a journey for morons. Do you think life is a journey for the Trump kids? It's a process, the same process his daddy raised him by. Same for me. Life ain't a journey if you're my kid. It's a goddamn process. So you tell me, if you're results orientated at all, who's better off? The journey or the process?
Now I've got a special bonus clip from Dan on how to just do it that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Time to go from just watching a video to taking action in your life or business. Here we go. Question number 1. What's one thing you need to do that you will regret if you don't? Number 2, whose opinion do you need to stop caring about? And number 3, what do you need to just focus on this week?
Question is, do you, the person asking the question, have what it takes to do what Dan did? You never know. But no one does know initially, up front. You have to try. You have to swing at the plate. You have to, take risk. You have to be willing to sacrifice. You have to be willing to make commitment. And just do it. I keep saying that. I mean, it's simplistic. It sounds like I'm, I haven't thought the question to, but that's not the point at all. The point is, after 21 years of coaching and after almost 45 years of doing this myself and being a high-performance person in 6 decades, I realize you just got to do it.
If you want more Dan Peña, check out the interview that I did with him on this channel. The link is right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
I'm a barrio bad boy. Came from the barrio of East Los Angeles as a adolescent. Got in a lot of trouble.